Now then, where was I? The children that were scattered about the floor of the common room looked attentively at the old man, waiting for a tale of faraway lands and heroic exploits. Miss Turnbuckle, are you listening? Oh, I am. Waterdeep. You were at Waterdeep. I suppose we were at the beginning then. The Underdark, the Grove, the sea, the palace, and the gutter, they all converged right there.
Have you ever seen so many different kinds of people in such a big place? How hard can it be to find somebody that knows where Tailwind is?
You're a miracle, boy.
I shake my head and quietly to myself say, there's no such thing as miracles. And I start walking up the surface.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a running start. I'll count to 30. 1, 2.
30, and then I'm gonna run at him and attack him.
Fair's fair. You told me your history. I was born on that boat. Huh? That ship that your friend is dissecting.
I absolutely hate how chipper you always are.
And it'd be a good look on you, though.
If it's a riddle, I want to solve it. If it's a lock, I want to open it.
How do I make this quick? I'm a holy woman, and I'm looking for things that were taken from me and my people.
Do you want to do the recap first?
Just real quick, yeah, if that's okay.
I was climbing around, I had Elerie climbing around in a ship, getting into all sorts of trouble.
Oh, right,
Speaking of trouble, June made new dangerous friends.
Oh, yeah!
The most interesting gang in Waterdeep.
I'm not in a gang.
The Fabulous Four and Bretta Brightgleam went down into the sewer system of Waterdeep and speed run it
with lots of traps and some oozy stuff that we actually managed to get through.
You defeated
the
a gray
whole
ooze.
one-hit KO.
But then now we've run into something a little more nefarious.
Oh yeah, the Mega Goop.
The Mega Goo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Captain Ooze.
Missing anything? Are we good?
Did Elerie commit murder this game or last game?
It was the last
game.
It was the last
game.
Last time,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, last game.
Elerie
Has
wants
to commit
get-
murder again, possibly.
But currently, Elerie is on the deck of the Sirens Call, hiding, correct?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Well, yeah, mostly hiding and looking for an opportunity to cash in on that head,
Yeah. Days since Elerie committed a capital crime is still at 0 at the minute.
And didn't Calder have like the best breakfast ever with
Yeah. Hal had brunch with Filthy Meg. Hangover
You
brunch.
sound so giddy at that.
I am.
You love to see it.
You haven't had a mimosa until you've had it on the dock side of Waterdeep.
Shall we begin?
Yeah. All right, bring yourselves back into the story, please. And I want you to close your eyes and start to think about where your characters were. Focus on a number of details about them, maybe things that you've not described before. We know what they wear, we know what their faces look like, we know what they carry with them. Try to be as descriptive as you can. And feel free to take the initiative when it comes to not only describing your actions, but the way in which those actions take place around you. The sound of a gull against the bright blue sky shrieks out. The lapping of the waves strike the well-worn, highly polished side of the galleon ship known as the Sirens Call. It is midsummer, and the heat of the sun above batters down upon that old ship as the sails fill with the air that is pushing this vessel further along the Sword Coast. Traveling out from Baldur's Gate had been fairly uneventful, although that city is teeming with life. The cargo that it holds, bound for the far north, means that there is hope for the future. The couple that owns and captains this ship have worked endlessly to ensure that their burgeoning family and crew were well taken care of. Edmund and Yvette Grail were quite well established as merchants in this region. They had spent their lives building something together. They had established themselves from very small beginnings, but their partnership eventually brought two things. This old galleon ship, the Sirens Call, and a family born of their love. Two young boys run across the main deck of the ship, and as the sails fill with air as they push forward, these young hellions giggle and laugh, chasing after each other. One, the younger, no more than 5 years old. The older, just a few summers beyond. The youngest, a mess of ragged blonde hair, streaming in the wind, chasing after his older brother, shouts and giggles happily, with the freedom and carefree nature that only children possess. Standing at the wheel, Captain Yvette Grail looked down at her children, smiling, but focused. Her husband, Edmund, as he often was wont to do, was staring through a glass off at the horizon, always navigating and thinking about where they were headed next. The more rigid business of the mapping and navigation of their undertakings was his responsibility, and one that he took quite seriously. Yvette was well respected by the entire crew, infinitely more personable than Edmund, but still the two worked together to ensure that each of their hauls were successful and that they were able to travel between the remote Western Isles and Karatur, from Baldur's Gate to the far north. The Grails were respected. The crew worked hard. The days were long, but the rewards were plentiful. The young blonde boy, Calder, named after Yvette's first mate who had passed away many years before, and his brother Dorian were unexpected blessings, both of them surprises. They were born here on this ship, in the middle of the sea. Their lives had begun here. This ship was the only home that they had ever known. They had learned how to walk here. Calder had begun climbing rope before that. He understood rigging and the common tongue better than his brother, but Dorian was much more of his mother's son. Easy with people, well-liked by the entire crew. And while Calder did have a certain charm to him, there was always a lingering separation. Something that seemed to separate the blonde-headed boy from the rest. Like his father, the young child would often be found staring out at the horizon, watching the waves move back and forth. Whether it was thoughts that were lingering on the future, or whether it was an expectation of what might come on that horizon, As the young boys chased each other, Calder stopped, and his eyes moved across that long, open, endless sea. It was a calm day. The wind was pressing them forward. It was warm, and sweat was dripping across his brow, his messy hair being blown back and forth, and his bright eyes fell upon the smallest of specks on that horizon. And though he was very young, it was a moment that Calder would never forget. As Edmund shouted out to the rest of the crew, very tight sense of panic spread slowly. It moved across the deck of the ship like a wave, and the well-trained sailors began taking their stations. From the crow's nest, a bell began to ring. The small boys were immediately snatched up by one of the crew and pushed to the side as ropes began pulling and the sails were opened to try to buy greater speed. The main mast was full, the foremast nearly there, and from the foredeck, a cannon was positioned. As the gun deck opened and the Sirens Call prepared themselves for an attack. What seemed like an eternity passed before them. Dorian and Calder grabbed on to the finely aged, salt-peppered rails at the upper deck, pressing their faces closely through those open gaps, staring out at that horizon as a dark blotch began to resolve itself there on the horizon. Its sails were full and red. A shout from the crow's nest.
It be the Kraken's kiss! The Kraken's kiss is upon us!
More bells and panic as the weight of these words worked its way through the crew. It meant nothing to the young boys, but the sight of the ship that was approaching them, twice the size of the Sirens Call, did not bode well. It turned upon the sea and a volley was shot. Cannons opened from both sides. Smoke filled the air and the acrid stench covered the water with a fog of war. An enormous cracking sound shattered a large section of the main deck, and the mizzenmast trembled as if it might give way and fall. With deft hands and a sharp eye, Yvette Grail lent all of her focus to her work, gritting her teeth and cursing, her hat blown across the deck, grasping onto the wheel, hoping to avoid another blast from their cannon. It was at this point that Edmund Grail snatched up his two young sons and dragged them, kicking and screaming, into the captain's quarters. Pushing them both into an open dresser, he threw the double doors open, pushed the coats and garments back, and looked at both of his young boys. Dorian, I need you to take care of your brother. Can you do that for me?
Yes, Papa.
Calder, you are to obey your brother. Do you understand?
Aye, aye.
Your mother and I will always be here with you. As long as there's wind in our sails, you will always find home. Edmund softly kissed the forehead of both boys and shut the door, leaving them in darkness. Gunshots rung out across the deck. The ship shook horribly. Dorian looked to Calder.
I have to see.
Pushing his way out from the dresser. Out of that cabinet. The older brother moved quietly across the interior of the captain's cabin. Papers were strewn everywhere. There was smoke, and fire was lighting beyond the window of the deck. He creaked the door open. And there were the sounds of boots moving slowly across wood. The younger boy, Calder, was left in the dark, alone. He began coughing from all of the smoke that was filling this room. Thick black gouts of it. Orange flames licking across the top of the deck, shouting from all around. It was confusing and frightening. The cabinet door creaked open. Standing there, Calder saw Dorian and a man that he did not recognize. A grizzled man, tall and dark, with ferocious-looking eyes that seemed wild. The brightest blue that Calder had ever seen. A finely manicured beard and mustache, and the fancy garb of a rich captain. From a saber, blood dripped onto the ground. His other hand was placed upon the shoulder of Dorian Grail.
What have we got here? A little mouse, eh? You'll be coming with me now. The name's Captain Balthazar Graves, and I be your master now.
In another time, in the city of Waterdeep, walking the streets of the dock ward, an adult Calder feels the salt air and the firm ground of the city beneath his boots. The young man walks with purpose about his daily routine, doing the work that the very intimidating mermaid had laid out before him, to gather the coin and the information that had been left behind. He had something new. Information about another pirate. Someone who had found their way into the city and had created a bit of a stir recently within the dock ward. A name is upon his lips, and he has something new to offer the mermaid, something that she will find quite useful. The priest of Tamora had been very clear. Perhaps it would lead to something of value, but regardless, pushing through the streets, Calder knew that maybe, just maybe, his luck was beginning to change. You have a few additional stops to make, Calder, as you go about your daily rounds. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
I think Cal's gonna pick up a snack. Is there like a cart nearby, maybe?
There is, yes. Off to the side, you see ragged-looking cart with a striped canvas awning stretched over it, and blue and green stripes are faded by the sun. There is a very, very ragged-looking tabaxi with orange fur and a bent ear and a pirate patch over one eye and a gold tooth that's like sticking out of their bottom jaw.
I love him.
They are selling dried fish and other delicacies of the dock ward, particularly this part of the dock ward, which is fairly ragged. It's been beat down, this section. There doesn't seem to be as much commerce here, and that the commerce that does take place here is usually fairly illicit. However, this tabaxi looks over to you, seeing that you are kind of searching out a number of different options. This seems like the nearest. If you wish to continue on, if the dried fish doesn't hit a note for you, you can continue to move. However, the tabaxi does catch your eye with its one good eye, and it looks at you.
Hey, would you care for a dried fish, perhaps?
I think Cal would be well accustomed. Like it's like fish or die for him. So I think he's gonna go for it, even though it is not Az's favorite.
They're the best that you're going to find on this street. Here you are. 2 copper, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cal takes out some change, and he just, I think he would give a little more as sort of like a tip situation.
The tabaxi cat person looks at the coins in his open hand, which have sharp claws on them and fur across the back, and then smiles at you. But it's so strange that it almost feels intimidating, but you can tell that the tabaxi doesn't mean for it to be, but that it's just awkward to smile with his jaw set the way that it is.
I've heard tale of you around here recently. A big to-do about you working with Filthy Meg.
Uh-oh. Nothing too terrible, I hope.
No, nothing at all. I heard you stuck it to them magists good, though.
Oh, yeah, well, it was either that or join them at that point, so...
I don't think you were the type that would have done well within the mages. No.
You're very astute. Thank you. What's your name?
They call me Bones.
Amazing.
Yeah, never let it be said that I didn't take care of one of Meg's pups.
And then hands you another fish.
Oh, sorry, that was a me going at the second fish. Oh, I love him. Cal takes the second fish. Oh, thank you, Bones. I'll be sure to let Meg know that you're taking good care for people.
Hey, though, one last thing. Might be careful. City Watch have been around. There's been lots of rumors of something happening over at Anchor's Rest.
Cal squints for a second and it's like, what might be going on? Do you know?
Ain't for me to know. I can't get anywhere near there. They won't even let me sell at my regular spot.
Oh, that's rude. Maybe I'll go see what's going on. I'm feeling curious. I was gonna say lucky, but that's just tempting fate.
All right then, lad. You have a good day.
You too.
Come back and see Bones when you get hungry again. There'll be plenty of dried fish where that came from.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Cal walks away, and he if he thinks that there are city guards that are going to be around more, he's just going to like bend down and like take a little bit of dirt and like smear it on his scars to like make it look like filth instead of defining.
A very defining characteristic that they could use to track you with.
Yes.
It's an excellent idea. So you do take some dirt and you smear it across your face, and you don't seem out of place here. You were perhaps a little too clean to be doing what you were doing anyway. So you do so, and you begin moving through the streets. June, you're standing in a rainy alleyway. It's dark here, even though it's midday. The storms have been rolling through Waterdeep ever since you arrived. You're currently watching your new companions go to work. They have stayed very true to the arrangement that has been made. They've promised to help you locate the shield that you seek, that holy item of Sylvanas that has been taken from the grove that you have protected for the majority of your life. Though they do not seem to care or question why this shield has such importance to you, they leave matters of faith unspoken, as it is clear that those of this organization, the Zentarum, who do follow the gods, follow much darker, more sinister entities. But they don't make you uncomfortable, and they don't ask you many questions. You have saved one of their number, and their code, as flexible as it might be, is very clear. They owe you a debt, and they intend to repay it. 3 of the organization have accompanied you, and currently they are deeper in the alley as you stand watch there in the rain. There is a rough-looking individual with a shaved head and a beard that is grayed. This older human has been thrown into a puddle, and you can see that it is now slowly filling with their blood as your 3 companions continue to beat upon this unfortunate soul. Their fists and their boots do quick work. You hear the cracking of bone and ribs as the individual shrieks in pain, and you stand there, doing as you were told. Keep watch. They didn't say what they were going to do, but now you're very, very aware. Mert Handlebrake, with a braid pulled tightly back and a rough, scar-pocked face, built for pit fighting, grits his teeth as he pulls back for another punch. His body is a network of tattoos and markings, scarifications. He wears leather armor and carries with him a very large bastard sword. No weapons are drawn at this point. His Uthra soul, barbaric in her size, holding a great axe in one hand, continues to kick with fur-lined boots. The half-elven rogue, Dev, is the name that you have heard, but you're not certain about that one. Slinks in the darkness, striking quickly and then retreating backwards, always lingering on the edge of darkness, careful in their movements, dodging back and forth as their foe shrieks out in pain. The twins that you had encountered, Fane and Veer, are not here, nor is Yarazat, the thief that you saved. After what feels like an excruciatingly long time, there is a pause as Mert stands back, cracking his knuckles loudly. Uthra, seemingly bored, walks over, pulling a flask out from a bag and drawing heavily of some brew.
Who is this guy?
It was a member of a rival gang. They had told you not to interfere, but that they were going to interrogate some of the local filth, with the hope that they would get information that would lead them to the shield that you seek.
This guy is basically beaten to a pulp right now, yeah.
It looks as if he has very little time left.
Hey, not to be a party pooper, but are you sure this is what we should be doing right now? With this person? I mean, they're clearly not saying anything.
Mert looks back and smirks at you. Dev is sulking in the shadows, but Uthra Soul turns to you and smiles very broadly. Yeah, look, if you wish to do a little work on your own, we would not be opposed if you wish to work them a bit yourself.
Forgive me, I'm just not sure if they actually know anything. So I just want to know how you know that this person would know something.
We don't.
Right.
But we ain't gonna ever find anything if we don't try, love. You gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet.
Crack! His fist flies down on the face of the man who is sobbing on the ground in the puddle next to him, and his head bounces off the cobblestone with a loud thud.
I ain't gonna ask you again. Where is the stolen goods that were shipped in here 2 nights ago? Which warehouse is it, you turd?
Wait. June's gonna. Oh God, I freaking fling myself onto the ground next to the guy in front of him. I grab his face, and I'm just like, "Hey, dude, this can be over quick." I know.
Fucking broke my jaw.
If you know anything, you might want to tell us now. I don't think they're gonna stop, and honestly, I don't know if I could stop them. So if you have any information, you need to tell us now.
Make a persuasion check, please.
15.
All right, I'll fucking talk.
Okay. Guys, just give us a little room.
Fish got Allie.
Who, Allie?
Fish got Allie.
Fish got Allie. Does that ring a bell to any of you guys?
Oh, it does. Looky what we got. We got some answers here. Well, might as well take care of the trash.
And Mert begins moving in on the man lying on the ground.
Wait. Mert. Maybe we can take him with us in case it's not actually there.
Oh, you want us to carry this dead man with us? Why? Do you know him?
I don't know him, but if he's wrong, you can do whatever you want, I guess. I hope you wouldn't, but...
See? I told you. She is much smarter than you, Mert.
You shut your fucking face, Uthra.
I agree with the cleric. We take him along. And that way, if he's lying, we start cutting fingers off.
June leans down onto the beaten man. I really hope that you told the truth, because neither you nor I want you to die tonight.
Fish got Allie. Warehouse 34. I know there's something happening there, but I'm telling you now, the Xanathars are going to kill me anyway. You might as well do it yourself.
Well, I'm always one to oblige.
Well, wait. Maybe, if he's telling the truth, we could just let him go. As like it's a reminder not to mess with you guys and your gang. Come on. The way he looks right now, if he's alive and he's right, they're gonna know to never step on your turf. Just saying.
I agree. June is right.
Fine. Ruining my fucking day.
Oh, I'm sure you have plenty of people you can beat up. It'll be fine.
And you can tell that Mert grudgingly steps away, but he does respect you after the interaction that you and he had the other day. Picking up the ragged, beaten man with one arm, Uthra the barbarian reaches down and just lifts him up effortlessly, her muscles glistening in the rain as she kind of carries him like a sack of potatoes. The group moves down deeper into the dock ward, following the instructions that you have earned from this beaten thug of the Xanathar gang. Elerie, you are on the deck of the ship that you know so well. It's nighttime, and you are hidden behind a barrel. There are sounds below deck. The guards are moving back and forth in this area, and there seems to be some amount of protection that has been afforded this dry dock ship. It is hanging from rope and tether from a large building with a very impressive crane that has been affixed to it. This section of the dock ward utilizes a mixture of engineering and magic to maintain many of the vessels that enter into the dock ward of Waterdeep. It is not uncommon for a ship to be brought onto land to be repaired when needed. However, the Sirens Call, while it had some superficial damage from the journey that you and the others had returned from in the Moonshay Isles, it was largely unharmed. And this seems extreme to you. However, you are now 3 stories above ground on the deck of a ship, surrounded by city guard, knowing that you have only a small amount of time before that captain decides that his goodwill is spent and that whatever it is that you are doing is not, in fact, blessed by the Inquisitors. And so you're hidden behind this barrel. What do you wish to do?
I'd like to just listen and see if I have an opening to jam open the door.
The door that leads below deck across the main deck, is that correct?
The door that's going to get me to the captain's quarters.
You had attempted to do so before, but it was locked. So you wait, and I will have a perception check that I am going to make. You hear the footsteps of the guard that had stepped above deck earlier, seeking out some noise that you had caused. The guard shouted a few times and then turned and then walked back below deck. You hear those boot steps moving further and further away towards the fore of the ship. Everything seems quiet. Do you wish to make another attempt at the door?
Yes. And I have a tool now, so I feel like I can go at it a little bit, pressure into it. I mean, it's an old ship. I mean, it's been around. Perhaps this door will be easily opened.
Perhaps. You have the tool that you've gained from the deck of the ship, and you move your way back towards the captain's chambers. You slot the tool into a crack on the door itself and pull heavily against the hinge, hoping that maybe the door would pry open. Let's make a strength check. That's a 10. It's not a horrible roll, but it certainly isn't enough to get this very sturdy door open. There's a cracking noise, and you continue to pull as you lean into it. If you wish to be less cautious, it would be possible to put more of your strength into it. Are you willing to potentially sacrifice your hidden position to try to open this door?
Yes, I'm going to go for it.
Then I will allow you to make another strength check with an advantage, but I also need you to make a stealth check with a disadvantage.
So does that mean roll strength twice and the other one twice?
Absolutely. But you're going to take the higher on the strength check and the lower on your stealth check. So a 12 is your strength check. And now let's see how you did with your stealth check. You rolled a 10.
We're very average here. Average Elerie.
This could be far worse and it could be far better. However, with those rolls, you do not open the door, but you also do not make an overt amount of noise. You do make some noise, and your feet kind of scrabble against the well-worn boards of the Sirens Call as you pry backwards. You have so many memories of this door and the captain's chambers. The cabin itself has always been well protected, and knowing what happens oftentimes on mercantile ships, this door has been reinforced, and there has been a great deal of care put into the iron and steel work that keeps it locked and closed. You don't feel that you're going to be able to easily pry this open. I'm going to make a perception check now for the guards below deck. And if they succeed, they're going to be aware that something's happening above deck.
Oh no. Can you hear the alarms going off?
I don't know if you heard the natural 20 that I just rolled, but that's exactly what happened. It didn't confirm 2 natural 20s, but It's a little different for me when I roll those.
Wait, you get the 2 natural 20 thing too?
I give it to I give it to NPCs, and I decide how bad something is based on that.
Oh, okay.
Or how good for you. If they roll natural ones, I do the same thing. So an NPC would also have a potential to catastrophically fail or catastrophically succeed.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh no.
I like living the extremes, you know. So with that said, Elerie, you are greeted by a strange silence after you made your second attempt prying at that doorway. In the name of the City Watch of Waterdeep, I demand that you show yourself, thief.
Terrified to respond. Okay. Do they know that I'm here? Like, am I making eye contact with them, or is this kind of like they're just yelling into the night still?
Well, you don't know if they see you or not. They've just made an announcement. Would you like to make an insight check?
Yes, please.
I will give it to you at a disadvantage.
So roll twice?
Yes, take the lower. Still a 12. So, yeah, you don't believe that they see you yet. From the sound of their voice, it was more trying to scare out anyone who was present. They tried the same thing before when you made noise earlier. So you don't think that they see you, but you are not certain.
But this is like the second time that they've yelled up here, which means they're gonna get like real suspicious and start investigating much further, probably. This isn't good. I think I really just want her to try and hide, but she wants to climb away from where she's been making the noise.
So you're going to try to move out of this position and climb around on the outskirts of the ship?
There's like water under there, or is it like ground? It's ground, okay.
It's cobblestone, rainy streets. The ship is wet from the rain.
Yep. But I got my boots on, right?
You do indeed, yeah, you do.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of this, and we're gonna try and get in through a window somewhere.
Right.
You're trying to get in through, hide in through a window.
Okay, so what I need you to do is probably to first make a very careful stealth check, please.
Come on, average Elerie.
That's an 11. So you have not broken away from 10, 11, or 12 the entire time that you've been rolling, which is good in the sense that you are not catastrophically failing any of these rolls.
I like that.
However, you're also not succeeding on any sort of spectacular level. Let me see if they notice you sneaking across the deck, trying to move over the rails to the side of the ship. They do not.
Yes.
So you manage to slip over the rail of the side of the Sirens Call and place your feet upon the 3-inch runner that works its way along the back of the ship itself, around the poop deck and down over to the captain's quarters windows. And you grab on to the side railing and start working your way slowly over the side of the ship. It is raining, it is dark, and it is very slick. You are a skilled sailor, but this is dangerous. Is there anything else that you wish to do before you continue on?
Nope. Yep, that's it. I think that's all I got.
All right, Elerie. I want you to make an acrobatics check. 19 is very good.
Yes, thank you. She really wanted this one.
So you were carefully moving your way along the side of the ship, and to your credit, your hands are very deft and move very skillfully across the old wood. Your boots find purchase with each step as you slide your way out to the back of the ship, and soon enough you make your way to where the captain's quarters are. And you see the murky, aged glass that is leadened with crosshatches all the way across the open area that leads into the captain's quarters. This glass is waving and hard to see through. It isn't clear, and the rain that's washing across it makes it even more difficult to see. But as you stand there, precariously perched, you see the flicker of a single candle flame and a silhouette moving inside the cabin. Someone is already there. Underneath the city of Waterdeep, in a safe house, filled with mechanical traps and security measures meant to deter any would-be thieves, Maglo, Hawke, and Doddle stand in a chamber. A smear of filth works its way across the stone floor. Where the gray ooze once stood, there is now but a smudge where the creature had existed. Lining the back wall of this chamber are giant-kin suits of armor, enormous, covered in dust. These armors are peculiar here. They stand at attention, silent sentinels to this place. There are a number of boxes, crates, and baskets here. There is a cage that is hanging from one corner that has a pair of slightly blue glowing songbirds inside of it, and they are chirping wildly as you and your companions work your way across the space. Brita Brightgleam, a coarse, very dirty dwarven woman, has led you here upon the instructions of Phineas Fiddlescratch, where you are to retrieve an enameled box held by the group known as the Grasping Eye. Siraye had managed to unbolt a large steel door that was blocking another chamber in front of you. In doing so and opening the door, a pseudopod of strange, red, slimy wetness shot forth, grabbed Siraye, and pulled her into the chamber beyond.
Right, I forgot about that.
Oh no.
It's fine. We got you. This is the beginning of the Power of Friendship arc.
I don't think the slime is made of friendship.
No, I don't think the slime is made of friendship.
This, I think you just did.
It's made of slime.
No, it's fine. This is fine. She's fine.
As the rest of the room is on fire, Doddle just says,
fine.
"It's fine. This is all fine."
That's
Actually,
the
it's not
core
fire,
of
it's
my
just
entire character.
Everything is okay.
And it's a fire from her own magic.
Yeah.
Alright, wait, are we in control now? Is it time to save Siraye?
I don't. Oh, sorry, I was talking as Doll. I don't think anybody's in control right now.
Today, Doddle will be played by Mike.
Wait, are we going?
Each of you witness this, standing there. I am going to make a series of perception checks. Doddle, and I can't believe this. Okay, I need Doddle and Hawke to both roll. You both have rolled natural ones on your perception check, and I would like for you to see if you confirm either of those rolls. Doddle,
Almost.
a 7.
Are you kidding me?
Dice buddies.
Lucky 7s. So very, very good.
So y'all don't see me get taken by the ooze. I feel is what's about to happen.
You're a rogue, you're naturally quiet.
It's just like boop, gone.
I'm gonna open up this chest real quick. You guys do whatever you're doing.
And we just get on with the mission and we leave. And it's like, are we missing someone? Nah.
We forgot
That's how Siraye died.
So, what I will say here is that Brita, in the moment that this occurs, pulls the very large sword. I mean, the sword that she carries is a massive blade. It's dwarven in make and flat and very wide like a cleaver. She pulls this blade off of her back and throws herself up against the wall as flat as she can make herself. She is a very broad dwarf. She's easily twice as wide as Hawke is, just shoulders that are massively strong. And her finely braided little goatee kind of jiggles back and forth as her dirty face like immediately falls into this almost animalistic pounce position with her blade in hand, ready to move at a moment's notice. She moves very quickly and very quietly. Greta has guided you this far, and you can see that under her breath, she's slightly cursing herself for not having seen this coming. And since neither of you reconfirmed your natural one, you have just failed to notice anything. However, Maglo, along the inner workings of the doorway that Siraye has just opened, you see a faintly glowing series of runes around the threshold, and they are fading slowly away.
Oh, they should not be doing that. Or oh, nice. I'm glad we did that type of way.
They are slightly glowing runic symbols that seem to have magical import. If you'd like to make an Arcana check, I could perhaps tell you more, MacLeod.
Yeah, that would be nice. Aw, 10.
Today's just the average day.
We're just everyone is straight down the middle.
Just wait for me to make any roll.
Do you have a flash of genius left?
I do.
Do you wish to use it here, or do you want to use it somewhere else?
I think he's gonna wait for now.
All right. So you're uncertain. You do not think that it could possibly be good, though, because whoever put it there was expecting this to be triggered when the door was open.
Guys, there's some runes there which are kind of like a trap thing that are lessening or alerting or causing something to happen. That's definitely not good.
I'm sorry, what?
There.
Sorry, I was like totally zoning out there. What's going on?
What do we do?
Maglo points up to the top of the door. Can he see Siraye?
You all saw Siraye get pulled forcibly into the darkness of this chamber by a red tentacle-like pseudopod that shot out, grabbed around her, and pulled her in.
I am not focusing on the right thing right now.
Pay attention! She's gonna need your aid. Quickly! Be ready.
All right.
I'm losing prestidigitation grasp. I can comprehend. Is she speaking in another language? I can comprehend another language.
Maglo still has light cast, I believe. Can you shine it into the room?
Well, you can't direct it any further in. You could, whatever source of light you've cast the spell onto, you could throw into the room.
Yeah, he's gonna chuck it into the room.
Okay, what is it?
It's kind of
that
just
wand,
like a
right?
flashlight. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you toss that into the room, and I'm going to go ahead and move us into initiative order. We're going to stay with where we were last session.
I'm okay with that.
For once, I rolled well on initiative.
Everyone but Maglo rolled well, but we're going to re-roll next round. We're just going to stay with this because this was mid-action, all right? So, Siraye, you're going to be acting first, and what I need you to do is to make an acrobatics or an athletics check to break out of the grapple that you are currently within.
Okay, I'm going to do acrobatics because I have a higher score.
I see acrobatics 11, so you do not break loose.
We're just average, team. Team average.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this middle of the road. Nox is the only person that can roll either a 20 or a 1.
6.
You are not able to break loose. I do need you now to make a wisdom saving throw, please, Siraye.
All right, so I'm like struggling. All these little goops keep like grabbing my arm and pulling it back as I
It's hard for you to tell what is happening. There is a wash of red, thick, viscous fluid that is wrapping around you tightly, and it seems to be tightening every moment that you stay here.
Ugh. And it's, sorry, wisdom saving throw?
It's a wisdom saving throw, please.
Woof.
That is a 13, but you got...
Oh man, that was almost a 1. It sat on that 1 for a second, and then
I thought it was a 1. Yeah,
I was like, whoa.
You can have a 13 as a trait.
And I thought for sure that you would roll the 1, but
yeah, I was like, I'm out, I'm dead. Bye guys. It's all on you now.
All right, so Siraye, you are okay.
That just worries me when Nox gets quiet like that.
Okay. All right.
If he says interesting, we're done for.
Who's ready for a TPK today?
Nox doesn't have dice. I've actually seen it. He just has a coin that he's flipping.
You just have a series of strings, like in Hercules, that he just snips based on what happens.
Siraye, you're going to take 14 points of damage.
Oh, okay then.
Hot baby.
And it is psychic damage.
Oh.
So what does that mean? It's even worse.
I'm going to tell you what it means.
Oh, great.
Oh, no.
So we're going to... You feel these wet, sticky tendrils working their way around you, Siraye, as you're fighting back. You feel one of the pseudopods push its way across your face into your nose and mouth and start to work its way down your throat.
Oh no!
As immediately your eyes roll into the back of your head and you start violently shaking as you're no longer in the chamber. You're standing on the precipice of an icy cliff, looking over the jagged mountain range that the temple that you trained within was seated upon. And as you look out and the cold air briskly washes across your face, you see the plumes of steam work its way out of your mouth, and you forget for a moment that you are in danger. You forget that you are being attacked by some horrific ooze. You feel yourself centered upon the rock that you are standing, and you realize that you are balancing yourself on one foot, and your arms are outstretched. You are holding a rock in each hand, and you are unmoving. No one else is here with you. This is a solitary moment where your training and you were the only entities in this place, this wide, vacant, empty part of the world that is so easily forgotten about by others. And off in the distance, on a mountain ridge far too distant for you to easily be able to see, you know that there is a dark, twisted tree, one that you have fixed your mind upon. It is a shadowy reflection of another tree that so long ago meant so very much to you. You feel the pain working its way through your arms, but your meditative stance has allowed you to ignore it all. And then, with a shudder, you realize that the cold, bracing wind and the plumes of smoke that are issuing forth from your mouth in this memory are not real. You remember everything that's happening to you in the moment, and you begin fighting again as you immediately see everything around you. These red, slimy tendrils wrapped about you as you fight your way free of them. Hawke, what are you doing?
I see all of this, right?
No.
Oh.
You saw Siraye being pulled back into the room, and that's all that you see. Maglo is going to throw a light into the space, but will not do so until after you and Doddle act.
Do I have enough movement to be able to get to where she was?
Yes, easily. Bread of Bright Gleam is on the other side of the door, back pressed against the stone wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there. Bretta, what happened?
You are now standing in front of the open doorway and have elicited an attack of opportunity. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
That's great for 14.
All right.
Average.
Another tendril, a pseudopod, shoots out from the darkness and does not grab onto you, but does hit you firmly in the chest as there is a loud clanging noise as your plate armor rattles beneath your jaw as you are pushed backwards. You take 12 points of damage, and you are flung 20 feet back onto the ground. So you are prone. So that is the end of Hawke's turn. Doddle, it's now your turn. What would you like to do?
I played a day's worth of Baldur's Gate. Let's go. Okay. Can I walk across the goop?
This goop doesn't exist anymore. This is a stain on the floor
Gross.
that is left over from the gray ooze that you defeated.
Okay. Can I please walk so I'm right in front of Hawke, please, and thank you.
Okay, so you're gonna move over in front of Hawke.
Yeah.
And you easily do so.
Can I have a cool power of friendship moment where I run in front of him and this tiny little green thing puts her arm out in front of you to protect you, even though she's 1/3 your size. I'd like to cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp, please. What do I need for that? She reaches into her pockets and takes she has a small doll, and she takes it apart and then chucks the hand into where Siraye is. And it says, I pick 5 feet of. It says unoccupied space on the ground. Does that count if it's occupied by goop?
The goop doesn't count as occupied.
All right, I just wanna grab the goop. There's a lot of text in here. Give me a second. Target must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The ground in front of it, a enormous hand kind of erupts out of it, right? And you can then roll. I believe you got the saving throw is going to be required. Huge ass failure.
Yay!
So you can roll your damage.
Okay. I do 7 and 10.
So you've done 10 bludgeoning damage. So with that, the hand reaches forward, grabs onto something in the darkness, and you see this red viscous fluid, this kind of ooze, immediately kind of rise up underneath it as it shoves it into the ceiling and kind of smashes it there about 20 feet overhead.
Does it make a splat?
It does make a splat noise, but you kind of notice that it's dripping through the cracks in the rock and reforming itself around it. And Bretta Brightgleam looks at you and immediately shouts out, "Oh, we last no! Use fire if you've got it!"
I didn't want to hurt Siraye. Okay. I will next time.
Do what you can, lass.
Okay.
Bretta begins to prepare themselves for an attack themselves as the earthen grasp kind of stands there as the elemental ridge of stone continues to kind of work its way around. However, it does look as if this ooze is not as affected by the bludgeoning as you would expect it to be. It doesn't have bones, it doesn't have anything. So in doing that, you're kind of repositioning it more than anything else. With that, Maglo, it is now your turn. Do you wish to still throw the light into the space?
Yes. Maglo's going to run past Doddle in a line of one person prone on the ground, which is Hawke, Doddle holding their hand out in a friendship, and Maglo standing in front of Doddle purely because that's the best way he can get this shot off. As he's running, there's screws falling on the ground as he's unbuckling this torch, and he pulls it out and he throws it. It's a clear shot. We can definitely see it now. It's not necessarily in the darkness.
It's lingering back into an unlit chamber, but as you get closer with the light, it is now lit, and you see that there is something there in front of you.
Beautiful. He is running toward it. I tell you what. We'll switch it. As he's running toward, he's instead flicking through his bag, and he pulls out this long metal, almost looks like a pen. It's that kind of thin cylinder shape. He clicks it like you would a pen, and these tiny little long points unfurl, and he puts it into the top of his rifle, and the points grab onto the end and kind of ease itself in and out like it's someone who is getting into a cannon. Right, do you see that elf right there? I'm gonna need you to make sure she doesn't get hit. And he's gonna cast Sanctuary on Siraye as he aims it and fires it. And as he fires this tiny little pencil thing, its arms like open and try to grab onto Siraye as a little shield is like being like formed on its back.
Like a little metal stick bug?
Like a little metal stick bug that forms a shield on its back and is going to try and grab onto Siraye.
This gun is loaded with hugs.
Can I see Siraye?
You see a silhouette that you think is Siraye.
Well, in that case, I'm going to cast Sanctuary. You ward a creature within range against an attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or a harmful spell has to make a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail it, they have to choose a new target or they lose the attack. So this little bug is like crawling around what I assume is Siraye with this little shield, and anytime it tries to lash out, it's going to try and like divert its attention. So Siraye doesn't get hit.
So the stick bug mechanical device does in fact hit the target, and the dark shape is in fact Siraye. Siraye, you feel this shield work its way around you just as these tendrils were drawing tighter and tighter. Did you have any other actions that you wanted to do this round?
I do have an action. After he fires it, he drops his rifle and he's going to take out his pistol from his back pocket and he's going to try and fire the pistol at the creature.
You're going to shoot. Go ahead and roll to strike.
Yeah, sure. That's a +4. That's a 13.
I actually do believe that you're going to. Nope. Actually, you do hit, but the shot kind of is drawn into the red ooze, and you can see that the musket ball is kind of just ejected back out at you. It's not in any sort of momentum that would harm you, but it just kind of hits the ground and rolls out of the way.
Okay. And Maglo picks up the gun and is flicking through his stuff again.
Okay. At the end of the round, Siraye, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, thank the gods.
So, Siraye, you are ejected out of the grasp of this ooze. However, you are not ejected back into the room that you came from.
Oh.
You immediately find yourself in the chamber over here on the other side.
No.
I can't see anything in there, though.
It is very dark.
Oh, no.
Do I take any damage from that, or is it just a...
Nope. In fact, it's effectively you were broken out of the grasp of the creature. Meanwhile, you feel one of the pseudopods push its way across your face into your nose and mouth and start to work its way down your throat as immediately your eyes roll into the back of your head and you start violently shaking as you're no longer in the chamber. You're standing on the precipice of an icy cliff, looking over the jagged mountain range.